It completely changed the whole outlook or the look or the visual look of this site. It opened it up. I think that it was just, you had no sense for what the landscape looked like before the harvest. It was all thickly vegetated, and so now it's opened up. I have to.
What did this look like before?
So big pines. There's a huge, some what I call wolf pines up on this area that had just been left, and they weren't, they weren't ever going to. They were just taking up a lot of sunlight, and they weren't ever going to be productive. They were just huge, useless trees, other than seeding. I mean, you got to. I tried when they were here, and we were going to buy the land, take the logger to take some of these big pines down. They'd smile at you and say, "Oh, okay," and they're gone, and the trees are still there. So cut them down, move them out with the whole tree harvester, and then they cut them in chunks and run them through their chipper. So they get something out of it. I mean, you had to. I wanted access. That's when I said to Steve, "See, we're going to do a harvest. I want to improve access because all I had was this one main trail and a couple of the smaller ones. Couldn't get to most of the 130 acres with that tractor that you saw over there." For me personally, with access, Joni is more wildlife, that kind of stuff, flowers and stuff, which are, she's a little worried about her Christmas trees that were out here, but so it's a fairly dramatic change, but for me it was access to more of the land. We had 130 acres here. We could only get access to it. When I access, I mean walking and tractor access, basically. Allows me to harvest wood and move it out. You can see this is next year's wood there. That came from here and here, fairly close. Next year I'll move back a little bit. And there was grow good trees as opposed to just growing trees. If you can't get to them, you can still do it, but you don't have a sense for where the good trees are and where they could be and where they aren't if you can't get to them. 130 acres. Well, I think it gave them the option of getting some, again, forestry maintenance work done, I think is what it was. Because I don't know, I think in the case of the landowner, there was probably not all that much money involved. It was just fix the woods up so the trees can grow and so that we have a better future for this forest. It benefited the landowner in that he could get that equipment on his land to do this kind of work. So there was some remuneration. I don't know how much remuneration to all the other folks, but that were remnants of probably.
What do you think it's going to look like here in 15 years?
Based on what I saw happen over at Great East, it's going to be much more dense. These big trees are going to be bigger and hopefully worth more money as logs. What we don't know is what's going to happen to markets. I mean,